Well, the seconds are counting. Usually it cuts off the first 30 seconds of things anyway. I wanted to have a live stream in the middle of the night to see if it works, if the signal comes in better. Anybody out there? I always see those eyeballs. Yeah, there's a few people. 8. What's up? I didn't want to, I don't know. Thought about going to bed, but I wasn't tired, so I thought I'd go live and see about seeing what's going on out there in the virtual world. What are you guys all doing tonight? Is it the end of the world as we know it? You know what? I hope that the government goes away. I mean, I think I would be okay on my own. We'd have to come up with some kind of new money because we'd have to stop using these fractional reserve negative value debt notes. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Uh, yeah, that starts getting trippy to think about, though. Coffee beans. From what I hear, they have multiple purposes. Well, good morning. Oh, yeah, it is morning. It's like 1 a.m. So, what do you think I should talk about? Any burning topics anybody wants to hear my opinion on or anything? I just got a whole bunch of these. There's a whole stack of them here, and this is only like just a few of them. And then I have like there's 3,000 of these just sitting there. These exercise your rights cards, but I get them 10,000 at a time. Woo, people are dropping the DMV. And then I just recently started making these. These are a no trespassing sign. They're aluminum. It's good stuff. But yeah, I can't even keep this stuff in stock, even when I order like lots and lots at a time. So that's good, right? Coffee beans legal tender. Yeah, I value coffee enough to to consider it a form of currency for sure. Yeah. There's some other things that could be considered currency as well. You know, I think that as long as we can each have our own thing to offer or product or service to bring to the table, that is our own currency because our labor and our energy is actually what dollars are anyway. You know what I mean? Yeah, barter. For real. Yep. Yeah, what did I want to talk about? There was something. The thing like, you know, sex is the oldest currency. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I've seen never mind. I was gonna say I've seen some females and males, I guess, really just use sex to their advantage sometimes. But and I've seen people do some crazy stuff for sex. Yeah. I almost got killed because somebody wanted to have sex. Want to hear that story? There was this girl when I was like, I don't know, 26. I was like 26. And I used to hang out with this chick, but she wasn't interested in me, but I had a crush on her. And I would hang out with her a lot. We were pretty good friends. And I found out later that she used to go around and sleep with all my friends behind my back. And she wouldn't give me the time of day. But there was this guy named Dan Young, and he had a friend named Scott. And this Scott needed to find a way to separate me from this chick, and I used to drink a lot at the time. So yeah, I used to brag about I used to drink too much, okay? And there was this uh there was this party, and Dan says, I mean, I probably offered to show everybody how I could drink, slam, how many pints I could slam at once, and I would drink each pint like in 4 gulps. And then he lined up all these pint glasses, and I presumed that there was beer in them, but they were filled like halfway with whiskey, and then topped off a little bit with beer on the top. And I drank a bunch, and I got to like the fourth one before I even realized that they tasted weird, like there was whiskey in there, mostly instead of just beer. And uh, subsequently, I passed out, and as I was uh, falling, like as I was passing out, like I fell into this hammock in the backyard by my neck, and was strangling myself on this hammock, just hanging. And the guy Dan, because he had fed me all this booze, he was watching me, and he ran out there and tried to hold me up so I wasn't strangling myself, and called for his friend to come over, and they both got me out of that thing, and then I immediately threw up, and then I just passed out in the bark with my face down in the bark dust, and they got what they wanted, you know. I was out of the picture for sure, and now I realize I'm lucky to have my life, and that not everybody is out there looking out for your best interests. So, was that a fun story? I got this stupid little vape pen, and it barely functions enough. But I'm not gonna smoke cigarettes anymore. You know, and that brings me to a point I wanted to talk about tonight. Uh, what we say are words that we use. Dang, I didn't see who wrote that last comment, but anyway, what I was gonna say is our words. I feel like our words, they come from our voice is like creating something that originated in our mind. You know what I mean? And I think that our subconscious is like raw power. You know what I mean by that? Like if you like, no matter what, it just goes. It's just raw power. No matter what you tell it, it's gonna do it. It's like the genie in the bottle. Every wish is literal. You know what I mean? So if you have this, even if you have like a negative self-talk, you shouldn't do that. Or if you're always saying, "Oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I wish he wouldn't do that, this or that." You got to change that. Like when you say, "Oh, I haven't done something," a simple way to change that is to just add "yet" after it, because that leaves it open to be possible still. And I don't know. People may or may not believe in this stuff I talk about, that where you have to believe things for them to become reality and even speak them into existence. That's what I mean when I say your word is your law. That's, people don't even know what the law is. People think law is codes and statute and stuff. That's the law. But really, man, you know what? I think we create the law. I think we're almost like legislatures or something. But we have to be in the right spirit, in the right frame of mind. Can't just be all like, "Poor me, Downer Debbie, I'm broke, homeless," and whoa, you're houseless, because your a home isn't really a building. It's like where you are comfortable. So today, like, whoa, like, there's all this, man, the media is trying to provoke us all into killing each other. You guys want to kill each other? I don't. I mean, I'll be able to be defending myself, but man, it's like society is breaking down. And this is something new to all of us. This hasn't happened here. You see about, yeah, that's true. That's their plan, not mine. Exactly. And I'm right there with you. But it's crazy to think about. It's always some other place. It's always Beirut or Afghanistan, or you know what I mean? It's always something not here. And it's coming here. And that's not cool, because all that's gonna be is like the population reduction from the Georgia Guidestones. They're planning it all out. They've got all these crazy twists and turns. Like, if like a soap opera or you know, a blockbuster movie, but it's shitty. It's not real, you know, and it's gonna convince all these. Yeah, you know what? You're right. I'm right. Uh, like I'm probably bringing that into existence by speaking on it like that, you know. So I don't know. You know, anybody see that live that I did earlier? Just a little short one earlier. It sounded all crazy and stuff, like where I was saying that I had a message, and that someone wanted to send me something, and that it's you can send it to the that is so crazy. Okay, I think I went for a good 15 minutes just talking, and I don't think I was interrupted. It didn't say reconnecting and all that, but it just did that to me right as soon as I started putting out that message that I said on my earlier live. And you know what is so weird because and this is really strange. I right after that live earlier, I was outside with the dogs, and there was this military jet, and he was not very high up there. He was like flying low and slow, like they were like they were doing some kind of you know, where they take pictures, surveillance, or there's reconnaissance or something. It was just weird, you know. Like I get this message, and I'm just trying to get the message out, and it seems like I get difficulty right as soon as I start trying to get the message to the right ears. Strange. Maybe I should try it again, see what happens. Okay, the message is this boring? Should I not be telling you the message anymore? I mean, I mean, I want to ask you guys if you want to hear it, but then again, I feel like you're not the ones to ask because it'd probably be somebody watching it after the fact that is interested in it. Ears to hear and eyes to see. Yeah. Okay, well, let's see if it cuts out again. Just, you know, and it was doing really good there for about 15 minutes. Hey, good morning. Uh, and then I started trying to say that message again, and yeah, that's good. It, you know, it doesn't, it just, I don't know what it does, and it probably says buffering with the little wheel, but on my end, it has a little wheel and it says reconnecting every time start trying to say the message. And the message is, I'll say it, I'll try to say it right now. The message is somebody out there wants to send me something. So the good news is you can. You can send it to the Divine Authority, 116 Main Street, Gabbs, Nevada, 89409. Don't show up here. I mean, don't show up at that address. Don't show up out here. You know, because we are a tight knit community, and you don't want to f around if you know what I mean. But if you want to come under like honorable pretenses, I mean, I'm not saying it's not honorable to just come out here and like check out the town or whatever, but because it's a free country, right? But if you want to hook up with us out here and what we're trying to do, that's something else. That's like we don't know you, so the thing, and we kind of have to take these kind of precautions nowadays because uh, we've seen trouble before. we try to mitigate it beforehand nowadays. So, uh, yeah. Uh, anyway, yeah. And the address is just like, it's like, it's all run down, 100-year-old thing. And, but there is, I don't know. I better just not even go to this other part where I talk about the elevator and the concrete. It's about that thick. And then the steel, it's about that thick. But yeah. Anybody else out there follow along with what I do? Did you see my live? Man, it just was tripping out. I'm doing the little reconnecting wheel. What was I saying? Oh yeah, did anybody see my live from 2 days ago where I was getting new tires? Is anyone receiving the signal? Yeah. There is enough trouble. But on my trip to town the other day, I didn't experience any trouble. It was a nice trip. Uh, I did see a sheriff, and it was like he was pulling out into traffic, and I passed him. But I didn't have the phone handy, and he was gone before. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't capture that one, but everything was fine. And you know what? I think with all this chaos in the world, if you're cool, they'll be cool because it's too chaotic to be effing around. But they will handle you if you're all, "Arr!" You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anybody have any questions out there that I might be able to answer? Like, if you have a court date coming up for some stupid crap where there's no victim, I would call up the prosecutor or whoever's like pressing up the case and tell them about the fraud. You know, you start saying fraud around prosecutors and judges and all that, their ears perk up. Fraud? What? And you say fraud, but they're not going to think you're going to be able to explain it. You know, because people probably go in there all day. Oh, fraud! You guys, you, f you. Yeah, you're in contempt. You're in contempt of court. You know, tell the judge they're in contempt when the judge isn't even the enemy. The judge is just the mediator. He could be your friend. You know what I mean? I mean, not your friend, not like you'd have him over for a beer, but like if you're not so gung ho on hanging somebody, then he might help you. You never know. But put the burden of proof on that prosecutor. He's the demon. He's the guy who's uh, prosecuting you. The cutis is the skin. You know, have you ever heard of that? The cutis, subcutaneous. And the pro se is you're representing yourself. So he's taking your evidence, your testimony against yourself and turning it against you. Because that's what they rely on, is you testifying against yourself. So he's taking that taking that self-incrimination and just running, going to town with it. And you know what they did to me one time? It really burned me up. And I didn't even know what he was doing. This prosecutor walked across the courtroom. He held up this piece of paper. He held up this piece of paper while he was walking across the courtroom. And I didn't know to object because he was entering something into evidence, but he didn't say it. He was trying to sneak it over there so that I didn't object, you know. And what he did was you know what he did? He entered my DMV record into the evidence. And that's how they got a conviction, because I had a DMV record licensing agreement. I had to agree at some point to participate in that agreement and to be licensed. So that's what they used against me in court to get a conviction on a where I claimed to not be driving, you know. So my big lesson from that was, don't let it get that far. Man, I am not going to participate. And I'm going to say the word fraud, because it is a fraud. Unless there's a victim or some property damage, there's fraud. And you got to remember that. And you got to be able to say it. And you got to be able to explain it. But first you say fraud. There's a fraud occurring. You know, and I teach people to ask questions. I don't teach them to make statements. So that probably wouldn't be the proper phrasing for that. But just the word fraud. It doesn't have to be a statement. It can be a question, you know. I don't want to participate in fraud. And you can't force me to be a party to fraud, which is what you're trying to do, you know. When you're trying to get me to self-incriminate over victimless crime by giving you a little piece of plastic with my employee information on it provided by the DMV. It's fraud. And here is where I explain it. So, and it's real quick and easy and simple. You just got to be able to explain it, you know, and stand your ground and say, look, I'm not going to participate. You can't force me to commit a crime. You can't force me to enter into a criminal relationship with you fraudsters. No. Coercion. No. Extortion. No. And the reason why it's a fraud is because they went and took your rights, your unalienable, God-given, inherent, natural right, and convinced you probably around the time you're 15, 16, when you wanted that permit, that you needed to trade that right for a privilege. So you wanted to drive. So you did, you know. And when you were too young to even know the difference, you entered into this contract, a licensing agreement contract that was unconscionable. So that's where the fraud is. And it's as simple as, no, I refuse to trade my unalienable, inherent, natural God-given rights for your really, really crappy state privileges. I'm in a new state now. I'm in a state of the divine authority. And man, it's nice to live here because you realize that you're not their slave, you know? And you can stand on it. Yeah. A lot of you probably know First Amendment auditors out there. Isn't part of the First Amendment freedom of religion? If I don't have an authority higher than their fraudulent authority, I have to accept their authority. So I have to have something higher, a higher power. And that's where the God thing comes in. And whoo, God blesses me. It's insane. Yeah, for real. Uh, I'm blessed. I'm so blessed because I'm done forsaking God, and I think He blesses me because I don't forsake Him anymore. And it's not like I can explain who God is or what God is, but it's like a Wi-Fi signal that I get, I think, in my brain, and it's not nanotechnology. It's not RFID. It's like I think it has to do with the pineal gland and your connection to a higher consciousness. Because I have this, I listen to my intuition and I exercise it, and it tells me things that are counterintuitive, but I do them anyway, and sometimes I won't even know years why I did that. But I was listening to my intuition, and it knew more than I did. So living sucks, but it's already way cheaper than cigarettes were. And cigarettes might be, I don't know. It's weird because I saw a video on YouTube. I know that's how a lot of stories start, right? I saw a video on YouTube. I saw a video on YouTube of this guy that was like 110 and he smoked like a chimney. I think he said something about not inhaling though. So that could be a thing, you know. Uh but I'm amazed that I was able to quit because I used to, man, before I quit, I used to smoke like 2 packs in a day. And they were the short ones, but they were $10 a pack because out here there's only, it's like a lot of stuff is barter. And that's really all I'm gonna say about that. But they were $10 a pack, and I used to smoke 2 packs a day. They were Marlboro Shorts, and I was just puffing them like crazy. And I went to bed one night, and I decided I wasn't gonna smoke anymore. And then the next morning, I woke up and just didn't do it. But I do still, and you know what? These stupid little vape things. They made it so I don't have to smoke. It's like my pad, my nicotine gum or whatever. There's nicotine in this thing, and I'm stepping down. So one of these days, I'm going to be able to ditch the vape too. But I don't know, man. I used to smoke cigarettes constantly on the road traveling, white knuckling it, or whatever, because I'd be like traveling and by myself with my dogs, and I would be like, I was out there doing something that I knew I had to do, and I knew I had to get over my fears, and now it's been years. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. Yeah, it's pretty damn cheesy, huh? So, is it 2 o'clock yet? It's almost 2 o'clock. I think I do get better signal in the middle of the night. So that's pretty cool that I still have some viewers after 36 minutes now. That's pretty righteous. Does anybody think that it was worth listening to? Is it time for me to start wrapping it up? Yeah, right on. Peace. Uh, yeah. Well, I think I'm just gonna wrap it up. Good talk, you know. It was a good talk. Uh, 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 um, uh, uh. That's something about lives. I can't cut all that out. I'm sorry if it was too much, but I appreciate all y'all 19 people that are still here hanging out. Uh, I'm glad you chose me to be your entertainment at one and some change in the morning. How many times have I been to jail for traveling? Okay, that's a good question. And I've chronicled all of them on my YouTube channel. I back in 2012 or 2013, I'll admit it, I was drunk, and but I got the footage from even in the jail there. The car had state plates on it. I hadn't even come up with any kind of lawful traveler or anything yet. I was just like driving a car with state plates with the, I think I even had an expired license at the time. I, I was on food stamps too, and I was trying to go to the beach with this chick at night. We were hammered. She was actually passed out, and the other, but anyway, uh, cops actually let her go, let her drive, and they told her, "There's a Safeway over there, the grocery store. You better just go park in the parking lot for a couple hours." And then another cop went to go mess with her after she was there for a while, and they didn't mess with her because of me, because I was the videos on. That's one of the first time I was traveling without a license. I don't support any presidential candidate. That's part of not supporting that fraudulent system of government. And I'm not going to get caught up in those. Do you see what they're doing with that fake? Oh man, all the fake. It's like we're getting trolled by the mainstream media. Wait, I got to go back to that other question. How many times I've been to jail for traveling? I'm going to see that first time. I don't know if it even counts because I had an expired license, state tags on the car, and I didn't know what I was doing, or I was fighting. I was still at war, if you know what I mean. And you'll see that it's in the video. You'll see it's evident. And I kind of calmed down a little bit in the jail. And even when I was leaving the jail, the deputy that was in there at the end, he says, "I like that guy. I wish everyone was like him." So that was cool. But yeah, they said they smelled alcohol and marijuana, and I smell bacon. But I did get the video. I did get the video from the DA of the whole jail, and I posted that online. That it was valuable learning experience. I snuck a recorder into the court, and I recorded this chick or this judge. She reminded me kind of like a Nancy Pelosi or something, just real authoritative and like just locking people up because she could, kind of thing. And I really threw her for a loop, and that recording's on YouTube as well. And then the second time I tried to sneak a recording in there, she was wise to it because she couldn't get an arraignment. You got to have four things to get an arraignment. You got to have them admitting to the name. You got to have them understanding the charges and the rights that you read them. And you got to have them there's two other things. You got to have them agree to the next court date, and there's something else. Oh yeah, enter a plea. Yeah, that's the four things at an arraignment. And they couldn't get an arraignment. You can watch the video. They could not get an arraignment. They had to do it like four times. And the fourth time they did an arraignment on me, I was in that chair, with handcuffs, and I was like chained like Hannibal Lecter or something. They rolled me into into the video, and it wasn't even a courtroom. They just had a video screen. Like they were really, whoa, they were like trying to make me do something different. You know what I mean? So, and that told me that it was probably close to being right, except I was still at war. I was still fighting, you know. There's you got to be at peace to be able to be successful, because if you cast off that vibe of you know, that you might be combative or dangerous, or if you're perceived to be dangerous, that's their specialty, man. They know how to deal with that. So you got to be peaceful. So okay, I'm taking forever to answer this question, but that was one time I went to jail. But I don't even technically, I don't consider that traveling. I consider that getting my stripes. And you know, you got to go through trial by fire, so they know that you're serious, and that you're not just trying to get away with something. You know what I mean? So there was that, and then the next time it was up in Tri-Cities, Washington. And oh man, I had met this chick on some stupid dating app, and I went to go meet her, and I just picked her out of some shelter, some abuse shelter or something, and it was just a bad scene. And I was like going to take her to lunch and go eat lunch, and then drop her off and go back, because it wasn't like she was. Man, I paid for that one too. She was looking to get some kind of something, and she got like 2 phones, my tablet, all my camping gear. I was living out of my van, a couple backpacks, like everything, my clothes. We it was a little bit, but when I went to go track her down after I spent 2 days in jail. After that time, I was on Animal Planet on national TV. That one's on YouTube as well. But I got out of jail, and I didn't have my phones. I didn't have nothing. I didn't have even my wallet and any kind of anything like a credit card, money, anything. So I used my mom came to get me, and they paid bail because they wanted me out of there. But I don't even agree with paying bail. After 72 hours, they have to let you go if you just call their fraud out, you know. And that's what I would do these days. But I don't even make it that far these days. So I got out of jail, and I don't know. I do give out a lot of gifts. So I could be Santa. I don't know. I don't just do it one day a year, and I'm not pagan. But I got out of jail, and I used my mom's phone to look up my bank account to see where my card was used last. And it was at the Motel 6. So I went directly to the Motel 6, and I'm all, why are you letting people check in here without ID? You know, without verifying their ID. And they're like, oh, we never do that. And I was like, oh, yes, you did. Right here, I have a record that you let this chick check in under my name with my card. And heck yeah, right on. So they turned their story around real quick once I said that. And then they were like, oh, she left like an hour ago. We kicked her out for having too many people in the room and being too loud. And they said, oh, she was over across the street in the mini mall with a tent for a little while, camping in the parking lot until the cops told her she had to leave there too. And I was like, oh man, because she had my camping gear. That was my tent. And I heard that she tried to go take my van to the DM, or tried to go claim my van as hers and stuff. And the DMV wouldn't let her, thank goodness. But see, she was stuck thinking about the DMV, thinking that that's her authority. Anyway, that's enough about that, right? But so I was like out of loss, because this chick was across the street with my tent, and now she'd evaporated into the wind. So I had to do some serious detective work now. And so I you asked my mom to use her phone again, and I called the last number I had for her. I think first I texted her a couple times to get her to like talk to me. I'm all, please just talk to me. Just give me back my dog. She stole even my dogs, man. Who does that? So I finally called her up, and she said, "Oh yeah, I'm in this other motel, but it's like we got to keep it real quiet. I guess it's a big drug hot spot, and blah blah blah. So just park across the street at the Minute Mart, and I'll come meet you." And I was like, "Okay, I'll be right there." And so I went there, but I didn't go to the Minute Mart. I didn't wait. I went directly to the parking lot of that shady motel she was in, and started calling my dogs. And all of a sudden, my dogs were barking so much they had to let them out, and they come running to me. And so I went up to the room where it was a hot party, I guess. And I'm like, "Where's my stuff?" And right before I went up there, I noticed these garbage bags down at the, like they were just gonna throw all this stuff away. And I looked in there, it was all my stuff, like all the stuff that was worthless to them, but it's my stuff. And so in Tri Cities, Washington, I was in jail for 2 days. And I sent them I told them I was going to sue them and stuff, and just never went back. But I didn't get my $500 back either for paying bail, and I will never pay bail again because I know how to not even go to jail. But that, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last time I went to jail for traveling. Yes, it was bad in there. I'm not gonna lie. The water was really crappy, and I think that everybody was drugged. It was crazy because for the first 24 hours they put me in isolation in my own cell, like until the water took, because I'm pretty sure they were drugging the water, because when they put me in general pop 4 hours later after the water land place in general pop, this is like Pasco or something, Tri Cities, Washington, Kennewick. Yeah, it's been a lot. But I got into general population, and it was like La La Land. Everybody was like all way too happy, like something was wrong. And then after I got out, I was coming down, like the when you're coming down off of like chemicals and stuff. Bad news. Uh, but So I tracked her down to the seedy motel, and I'm getting all my stuff back. And like, I'm like, "Where is my debit card? Where are my car keys? Stuff like that. Where's my wallet?" And I got back what I could. I was just throwing stuff in my mom's car that I could grab. And I couldn't get my debit card. My sister said she saw her clutching something in her, like, what, near her bra strap or something. And but I'm not trying to go there or nothing. But anyway, we left her after I could get as much of stuff as I could, my dogs, and we went back. And I'll jump back to when I was in jail. I asked the officer on duty. I said, "Hey, I'm concerned about my van, if it's still there." And I'm all, "Can you have a check on it?" And they did. They went and they checked on my van, and but the cop told me, he said, like, they talked to him and relayed a message to me before even went out there, and they said, "It's not going to be out there. They tow all the cars out of there every night before they lock the gate." It was at a boat launch thing, state park or something. Yeah, and by experience, you learn a lot through experience. Uh, so I had this cop check on my van, and he told me first, "Oh, it's not going to be there." And then he gets there, and calls me back, and he's all, "Wow, it's still here." But it was like trashed. They had tore it up. They told tore the speakers out of the side panels, and the like tweaker tore it up. It's like that chick was in there sitting in there all night just trying to find anything she could to steal and like go through to pawn, and so she could get high or something. And she sure did, you know. So I finally got there to my car, which had the private or it had clergy tags on it at that time. I hadn't quite got to where I'm at now, you know, with the I don't know. I feel like my experience has defined who I am today. My past experience has defined who I am and who I can be today. So yeah, tweakers talk. But so I didn't have the keys to my van, but the van was there. It was unlocked. It was like anybody could come like mess with it and stuff. Uh so my mom had a PT Cruiser that she came out there with. Or no, they brought a different car, but she had the key to her PT Cruiser on her key ring, and I'm like, let me see that key real. And for some reason, I put in the ignition and I jiggled it, you know, pretty good, and it turned over. It turned the ignition on, and it was nuts. So we drove back home, and I didn't have any air conditioning, and the windows wouldn't work. It was weird. Like stuff was all like not working, and it was weird because it was like stuff didn't start working uh until it seemed like my car recognized me or something. Like, oh, good, you're not one of them tweakers. And I can't say that for sure, but stuff started working. Like the windows started rolling down. It was a hot day in the summer. It was like 100 degrees, and I had to I had to like keep opening the door, you know, to get some air in there. And yeah, it was just a crazy experience. So that's the last time I went to jail. Okay, yay, cheers. This is the last time I went to jail. Last time I got pulled over was in Reno, and that's on YouTube as well. And they let me go. No ticket, no nothing. I was at peace, you know. Yeah, tell me about gang stalking. That's messed up stuff. Yeah. Well, I have more viewers than I did before, and I've just been sitting here rattling on for an hour. Wow, what in the world? So yeah, that's the last time I went to jail. Was that in Kennewick, Washington? I think it was Kennewick, Washington, and that cop regretted it. Every cop regrets it because I always get the video and put it on YouTube. So if they're an asshole to me and I'm not an asshole and I put that video on YouTube, that's going to be way better off than me being an asshole trying to have him not be an asshole. You know what I mean? So anyway, is it time for me to go yet? Who thinks I should do this more often? Just talking. Is it interesting? Because heck yeah, that's what I like to hear. Righteous. Yeah. Um, I want to have a new book coming out here soon, and it's going to talk about some of this metaphysical stuff, like your word is your law, and it's stuff that's it's stuff that's all been said before, but I like to. I think I want to do it from my point of view. You know what I mean? And I think when I arrange my words in their particular order, it's different than anybody else. So, uh, yeah, I could do that. Huh. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't really have anything else for you guys tonight, but do I claim U.S. citizenship? No, man. You can't claim U.S. citizenship. I mean, Okay, first of all, if you don't know what you're claiming when you claim to be a U.S. citizen, and it's something the government's told you you want to be all your life growing up through school and stuff, you gotta think about that for a second. You really want to be claiming something you were told to do? Like, that's the two things that were in every classroom growing up, is a flag and a globe. And we're not here for flat earth tonight. But why would you claim to be a U.S. citizen, man? You know where I'll claim to be a citizen. I'm actually a servant. Ooh. Why would you say that? I'm a servant. I'm a servant to the divine authority because that's a worthy master. Oh man, I'm a joyful servant. And you know what joyful means? That you cause others to have extreme pleasure because you're so happy serving. So I'm gonna go. That just put me over the edge. Love you guys. Praise God. Peace.